Well, both game twos of the National League Division Series were played last night. And there was a lot of defensive miscues, controversial plays, and two potentially series-altering victories. The biggest question here is Dead on Dave happy? Let me answer it with this. Yay! What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy, Dead on Dave, but this isn't right. This just ain't right. I kind of want to wear it like a Snuggie, but you're going to watch me put it on. Watch me put on my jersey. So lovely. It's even got my name on it. Oh, God, it fits so good. Well, it doesn't fit great, but it feels so good. This is not going as smoothly as I wanted it to go. Oh, geez. Well, it's on. So there you go. Well, Lord, I almost broke everything doing it. I'm way too fat. All right. Yes. Now I feel better. I feel like I can properly give you the lowdown on what happened, man. We had a lot of stuff go down in the National League Division Series last night. We could start with my Cubbies, but no, I end with my Cubbies, man. We're going to start with potentially the bigger thing that happened last night. And, of course, that is the Dodgers and the Mets Game 2. Once again, the Dodgers' ace pitching did not show up very well early on. Greinke looked out of sorts a little bit. Maybe these guys, him and Kershaw, are just not playoff pitchers. Greinke has a little bit better of a track record in the playoffs than Kershaw, but hell, I have a better track record in playoffs than Kershaw, so that's not saying much. But I've never played in a Major League playoff game. But hey, figure that shit out for yourself. The reality is the Mets jumped early, and then everything turned on its head, man. Syndergaard was cruising through, like 6, 7, something like that. Cologne comes in, some traffic on the base paths, and then tragedy strikes for Ruben Tejada as Chase Utley, going to break up a double play, crashes into him, breaking his leg. Now, immediately, I hearken right back to the Pittsburgh play with Chris Coughlin running into a Gong. And I compared these two plays because with the Coughlin Gong play, I didn't think it was dirty. I didn't think it was dirty at all because of the positioning of Gong and how he stepped up into the play and just the whole flow of that entire play. Or maybe I'm just a homer bitch. I don't know. This play, I'm torn. I'm torn because my heart says dirty. It looked dirty. It felt dirty. Chase Utley slid so late. However, all that being said, within the confines of the rules and what we know, it really wasn't a dirty play. It was a baseball play. There was no malicious intent. His only intent was the only intent he was supposed to have. That's break up the double play. That's what he tried to do. Was the slide late and probably unnecessary? More than likely. Did he know that Tejada was going for a pirouette move? No, he couldn't possibly have known. He couldn't have seen exactly what Tejada was doing. That's why I think that's where it differs from the Coughlin Gong play. Gong had the play in front of him. He saw where Coughlin was going, and he stepped into the play. He was trying to be a hero. Tejada had his back turned to the play as he was pirouetting, could not have known that Utley was making the move that he was making. So I think that's the difference in the two plays. And I also think that's why it makes it a little bit more gray. Now, I don't have a problem with the dirty, not dirty discussion. It should have been called interference just because of the rules dictate that clearly. This was a late slide, should have been called interference. The reason why it wasn't called interference is real simple, and I think the ump saw the fact that Tejada may not have touched the bag, so that's why it didn't get called interference. regardless of the fact that Tejada didn't touch the bag, Utley still shouldn't have been called safe. And here's why. Tejada didn't have to touch the bag. He could have just juggled the ball, whatever, the ball could have rolled in the center field and sat there forever. Utley never touched that bag. Utley never touched that bag. And he ran out of the base pass when he thought he was out. He left the field. That's out. It's over. The end of discussion. How Utley got back to the bag when he never finished the play to begin with is beyond me. That's where I have the bigger problem. Now, I might be wrong within my understanding of the rules, but I don't think I am here. This is why, because we've seen plays like this at the plate where if guy doesn't touch the plate, guy doesn't touch the goddamn plate. And Utley never touched the bag. Never touched the bag until he was instructed to go back. So I don't understand. If the play is done, if the play is whistled dead by the umpire, then how do they put him back on the bag? Because once that play is dead, Utley can't magically go back and go touch the bag. No, he's out. He's out. So that's the only problem I had with it, because what happened after that, of course, is the wheels come off completely for the Mets. Dodgers have a big inning, go on to win the game in what could really be a series-altering victory. The Dodgers needed this, man. They needed some momentum, because with Greinke not being sharp, they looked like they were probably going to lose this game. Syndergaard was on for most of it, and then it's just, you don't know what's going to happen in the later innings, but it felt like the Mets were going to win that game and ultimately the series. Now, with this turn of events, and now you can, if you're a fan of the Dodgers and you're a fan of somewhat clean baseball plays, then Chase Utley's a hero. In fact, he's the MVP of the series, because that slide alters the series. It changes everything that we know. The Dodgers need some momentum, because now they don't have Kershaw or Greinke. Now, they're, at least for one game, they're going to have to rely on someone else. And it could be tricky. Is it going to be Alex Wood? I mean, this is going to be tricky for them. They're going to have to get through, I believe, Matt Harvey in Game 3. This does not get easy for the Dodgers, but having a little bit of momentum and having that chip on their shoulder, or whatever you want to call it, going into the next game is immeasurable, man. It's huge, and it shouldn't be downplayed at all. It's going to be very interesting to see how Game 3 plays out. I was very, very, very impressed with that game. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. I watched it this morning. I didn't do live last night, the viewer party. I was exhausted, man. I had to go to sleep. Huffman doesn't even know I'm doing this video right now, because he's asleep in St. Louis. I'm here in Germany. It's 10 a.m. in the morning, so I was like, hey, let me do a recap video here. So that's what I decided to do. So I didn't do the live, but I will be doing something Monday. I know it's during Raw. This is something special, man. It's Arrieta on Monday, Cubs. I got to watch that, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's jump into the Cubs-Cardinals game, which, of course, makes me happy. I didn't have to kill him. I didn't have to wake up and kill Spud the Cub this morning. He lives. Spud the Cub lives for another day. It's amazing. It's amazing. So Kyle Hendricks gets the start, and immediately, first batter, home run Matt Carpenter. Are you serious? That's what I woke up to. I'm like, I watched the highlights. I didn't get spoiled. I watched the highlights, and the first thing I see is Hendricks give up a home run. I'm like, no. But then the Cardinals absolutely, you want to talk about wheels coming off. Their defensive plays were just horrendous in every aspect of conception. It was bad. It was really bad. And, when you're looking at it, some of those plays are trickier than others, but a couple of those just should not have happened. That's not Cardinals baseball. That's not what we're used to seeing. Freaking Colton Wong absolutely just flop arms a damn ball. I mean, I don't know what the hell happened there. Peralta couldn't handle a rather routine ground ball. It's just, there was so much that happened, and it was just one thing after another. You got to give credit to the Cubs. You got to give credit to Joe Madden for laying down who does two safety squeezes back to back? Who throws a shoe? Honestly, it's like one of those. Who lays down two safety squeezes back to back? Joe Madden. That's who. Jorge Soler comes up huge, capitalizing on all the mistakes with a big home run, capitalizing the inning, and ultimately giving the Cubs victory. Colton Wall would get a little bit of redemption when he hits a home run later on off Hendricks, and then they go back-to-back with Grichuk. But by then, I don't think anybody was really feeling like the Cardinals were getting back into this game, mainly because as soon as Hendricks came out, the Cubs bullpen came in and took care of business, plain and simple. They took care of business. Business, not business. No, they took care of business, and it was impressive. If that bullpen shows up the rest of this series or the rest of the playoffs, God help anybody who plays the Cubs. Because if you got to deal with Arrieta, Lester, a much better pitching Hendricks, and that bullpen, because Hendricks will give you 4 to 5 really, really good innings like he did tonight, last night, whatever. But if that bullpen can come in and be a supportive Trevor Cahill, holy God, throwing those super sinkers, man, that he throws, if that happens, the Cubs are just about unbeatable because that bullpen looked amazing. Game 1 bullpen with Pedro Strop, not so amazing. Not so amazing. But we'll see what happens going into Game 3. This is huge for the Cubs. Like I said, there are 2 potentially series-altering victories. And the Cubs needed to split this series. And I think it was more important they win Game 2 than Game 1. Winning Game 1 and losing Game 2, I think, would have been a little bit different going into Monday night. But having a victory going into Monday back in Chicago with Arrieta on the mound, you just feel like magic's going to happen. And the Cubs believe. And when the Cubs believe, it's a scary, scary thing. This is a scary team. And I am just excited as hell about Monday night. You cannot count out the Cardinals. Just can't do it. They're too good. They're too well managed. They're too well everything. It's a good, good team. You have to start wondering, with throws like Molina made trying to get a runner at third, things like that, are injuries really starting to take a toll? It looks that way. We'll find out in Game 3. I think it's going to be much more exciting. A lot of drama, I'm sure. As far as coverage, I don't know what I'm going to do because, honestly, I don't know the friggin' time of the game. So let me go check that real quick. I'm going to put you on pause. All right, still can't find the time. I guess it's still to be determined. I don't know exactly the time that it's going to be on Monday night. But I'm assuming it's going to be right around the same time as Monday Night Raw. And as you guys know, we do live Monday Night Raw reviews. So more than likely, what I'm going to do is handle it the exact same way I did NXT TakeOver. I'm going to go live when both things start and just talk about them both. So expect that to happen Monday. Live Raw and Chicago Cubs reaction party. That's probably what's going to happen. I hope you guys join me for that. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you guys. Very excited. Monday night, Arrieta, Waka, Game 3 of the NLDS, and who's ever pitching for the Dodgers against Harvey in Game 3 of their series, which I honestly don't care as much about. I just don't. Meh. Go Cubs, go, motherfuckers. What can I say? Thank you guys for joining me right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Hope you enjoyed this little recap of the NLDS series last night. And have a really good Sunday. Make sure you join me a little bit later on for the copious NFL pregame show. Should be joined by Bango and Jim, as always. We'll be back this week. We weren't there last week, but we will be here today, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys are here for it. Should be a hell of a lot of fun. We're going to talk about everything that's going on in the world of the NFL, give you our picks, predictions, and all kinds of other stuff. Hilarity will ensue. Make sure you join us there a little bit later. We will see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time. Peace.